All right, guys, we're here to break down the upcoming event, TFA Pro IV. Really excited about this card. We have, it's the first time that we're going to have combat sambo, combat jiu-jitsu. We actually have a couple awesome wrestling matches as well. And we're actually putting kids and adults on this one on the same card. But I'm Avery.
I'm Ryan.
There we go.
Super excited.
It's gonna work. No, we're really. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. Like the card, we'll kind of go through. We're kind of breaking it down. Lot of good matches this time. The combat sambo too, guys. If you haven't seen that live, really recommend coming out. How'd you? I mean, it's MMA in a gi mixed with wrestling, judo. I mean, it's awesome. Like you've competed in regular sambo. I mean, how do you like the rule set?
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you like watching a brawl, like combat sambo, elbows, headbutts, like it's the dirty mechanics of martial arts. It's gritty and it's tough. It's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot to totally mention the headbutt.
Yeah,
so,
you can headbutt.
If you want to go see someone get headbutt, come out July 1st. It's going to be awesome. So, yeah, we'll actually start with the youth matches. We're not going to, go too much in depth into the youth matches. The one thing I'll say is, props to these schools and these kids for going out there and like taking a hard match and at the youth level, at least in my opinion. I know Ryan's also he coaches youth wrestling, and I'll get his take on it. It's like, for me, I just want the kids to get good matches. It's for experience. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, what do you think about?
Yeah, it's 100% for experience. Like what I think is crazy is the age that kids are starting to train at now. Like we've got 6 and 7 year olds on this card. That's crazy.
Doing a super fight, getting that experience of walking to, and guys, it's in a cage. It's for the kids, the cage walls aren't live, but it's in a cage. They're getting a walkout. I think that's invaluable. You know what I mean? Like it's in terms of experience. And then the other thing too is like as a jiu-jitsu coach, with wrestling, you guys get to do tournament. You probably get a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu can be a little bit harder to get matches for these kids. So for me, anytime we can get matches, it's free. We're gonna do it. So yeah, we won't go into too much. We got 1, 2, 3. We got about 7 youth matches. The schools that are represented, we got Morrisville Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Nature Jiu-Jitsu, my gym, Lucas Lepri, Triumph Fight Academy, Carolina Combat Sports. It's going to be awesome. And actually, I know Willow.
Yep.
We have these kids that are they're taking as much, like Willow, for example. She does MMA. She wrestles for you. And now she's here doing jiu-jitsu. So like the kids that are going to be on this card, win, lose, draw. They're just going to get invaluable experience, and again, props to the parents and kids that are going to go out there. So, but yeah, we'll kind of go on to the the adult side. That's where we're really going to be breaking this down. So I'm going to let Ryan kind of take this over. He matched a couple awesome wrestling matches, and Ryan, will you explain what rule set are they doing? Are we doing freestyle, folk style? What are we doing?
Yeah, so both wrestling matches are going to be freestyle, and so basically the difference between folk style and freestyle. Folk style is your traditional American scholastic wrestling, so high school and college wrestling. And folk style is all about control. So I want to be on top, I want to dominate my opponent, I want to put them to their back and hold them there. We're going to be wrestling freestyle, which is the international style. So when you watch the Olympics and talk about like Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake, David Taylor, Sarah Hildebrandt, like all those people, they're wrestling freestyle or Greco. All right, so in freestyle, it's not about control, it's about exposure. So all I'm trying to do is expose your back to the mat, and I earn different levels of points depending on where the move started, how high the amplitude was. And then the biggest difference that most people like when you go from folk style to freestyle is you can lock your hands without giving up that 1 point.
And you think that's like, is that going from, because obviously in jiu-jitsu you can lock hands at any time. Is that a significant rule you feel like in like that little difference, locking hand? You feel like how much of an impact was, like if these guys did a freestyle match and then they did a folk style match, generally would it be that you feel like in wrestling, would it be the same result, or could it be completely different?
That's what's fun about freestyle, is it can be completely different. So a tech fall in freestyle is 10 points, but the amount of points you can score in such a short period of time in freestyle, like you can you can lock up a lacer gut and rack up 10 points in a matter of like 4 seconds.
Awesome.
So it's never like you're out of the match. Everything's high flying and fast paced, and that's why I personally like freestyle more than folk style.
That cage is big too. The
cage is real big.
Roll across.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to, what is the, you tell us about the matchups here.
Yeah, so our first match, we've got 2 post-college wrestlers. So we got Austin Lippincott out of Boss Grappling. This is going to be at 195. Lippincott was a 2-time South Carolina freestyle state champ. And I wrestled with him a couple years when we were down at Coker University, Division II. All I'll say about Lippincott is that I know he's got that dog in him, so he's gonna come out like ready to throw some people around. He's gonna be going up against Lawson Caps out of Dirty Merkles. I've got him down as a South Carolina state champ, and he wrestled at SMU, which I think is like Spartanburg Methodist University. Don't know too much about him, but I do know that East Coast wrestling in that Myrtle area is known for having dirty freestyle wrestlers. Awesome. So I'm excited for that match.
And are both those guys a year out?
I think Lippincott is in his senior year, and Lawson is roughly like a year out. Maybe
do you think being a year out of does that make a difference? You know what I mean? And not being one being in season and or post, you know what I mean, still active.
Yeah, I don't know. It has its pros and cons. Like definitely, what I felt was that first year out of college wrestling, I almost felt like a better wrestler because I was healthy. I was healthier. I wasn't sucking weight. I didn't have to worry about injuries, and it wasn't nearly as like grueling as grinding training. So that might be the advantage that Lawson has, is that he is a couple years out from college. He's fresher, and Lippincott's still in the grind of it all. That second match, we've got a high school match, and this will probably be an exciting match. So Taven Williams out of Virginia Elite Wrestling, he placed 3rd at Virginia States for I think sections 1, 2, and 3. They're all combined up there. I'm not too sure on how it works. So high level folk style wrestler, going against Aiden Eubanks out of C2X. So running a wrestling club in Charlotte, like C2X, I know they produce good high school wrestlers. I've got him down as a 2-time South Carolina state placer.
That's awesome.
So a couple state placers going at it. Freestyle rules, anything can happen. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's awesome. That's a great, great match. I'm really just excited as like a spectator for that, just to see. I want to see too, like, the intensity. Like they're walking in a cage. It's 1-on-1. Probably maybe a different feel than normal, like a turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A wrestling tournament. So I'm expecting really good energy out of
there's not a lot of wrestling duels where you get to walk out to your own walkout song and it's just you. So
that's amazing.
I expect like adrenaline to be high in them to go for some high flying moves.
Yeah. So so now, I mean, we're excited about the the wrestling matches. We'll kind of move on to how the card is going to be. It's going to be youth. Then we had our our adult wrestling. Then we had no-gi or gi and no-gi jiu-jitsu super fights. Then we're doing combat jiu-jitsu. Then the main events are going to be the combat sambo. So I'll go ahead and start with we just actually had this one come in, Isaiah King, and then I'm going to have you. What is I'm so bad with names, guys, sometimes. So if I mispronounce your name, leave it in the comments. I'm sorry.
Khalif Zaid.
Khalif
Top
Zaid
martial arts.
So, Isaiah, cross trains with us, Southern Scrap Nation. We always know Top. Top's always game. They always have good, good students out there. This is going to be a white belt match. I actually think, man, so many times people are like, white belt match, like, man, there's some of the best. Yes, I love the spectator wise. If someone's like, man, you're gonna watch a gi black belt match, or you're gonna watch no gi white belt match. As a spectator, give me the white belts all day, man. It's you don't know what's gonna happen. I do know Isaiah MMA background, so I don't know the cage grappling. Will it change? I don't know. So we're just really excited about that matchup. I don't know too much about just the school Top. So I know they always produce great people. So next one, Liz Chandler and Hannah. How do you say her last name?
Ellengendy.
I know we messed that up. Hannah, I apologize. So
Checkmate Carolina. Charlotte. Checkmate Charlotte.
Checkmate Charlotte versus Charlotte Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I've actually seen both of these women compete. It's gonna be a good match, man. Like, and both schools. The thing is, when you go to these super fights in the tournaments, we always see the same schools over, and it's not. The schools generally that compete a lot are generally the best. You know what I mean? They go out there. They're not afraid to test themselves. So just really excited about it. I know Hannah was she was a Division I volleyball player.
Okay. Sweet.
So I know very athletic.
BJJ artist.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Anytime you get any collegiate athlete that moves over to jiu-jitsu is going to be good. I also know Liz, though. Liz just did the donut roll. She's scrappy, man. So it's going to be, and you know Piper has, he always gets his students right.
Do you know how many donuts she ate?
I do
she
not.
Could still be feeling woozy from that.
Maybe. But yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, we'll kind of move on to the next. So actually, this is that is going to be one of the the next one of these was the wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Taven Williams taking on two matches. We might actually have to switch the order a little bit. Give him some rest time. But yeah. So you already said we know he can wrestle. But he's going up against Landon Weaver, and I know Chase Gamble up at Wayota. It's an MMA gym, so they're gonna have they're very well rounded. They're gonna know some wall work. I think this match is gonna be great. And man, when you always see these 16-year-olds that are blue and green belt, like, come on, we know
it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's always scary, man. You don't want to be that good. Like, they're always so good though. These 16-year-old blue belts, they're terrifying. Probably been training wrestling their whole life. So just really excited about that matchup, man. I think that could be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially with one of them has MMA experience. One of them's a really good wrestler. Being Nogi, that's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So. This next one, Michael McGrath, right? So he's one of our students versus Glenn. Glenn is competed for us before. Glenn's good. I was really excited that we could make this matchup. Obviously, with Michael, what's the hardest thing to deal with?
It's a completely different game.
Why?
He doesn't have legs.
Doesn't have legs. Michael, our student, he doesn't have legs, and it's funny. He's the first one to joke about it, but he's actually on Instagram. I think it's the legless leg locker.
Yeah.
It's weird rolling with him. He's so good. His guard retention's amazing. You can't deal with things that you normally, the grips, the everything. It can be a problem.
Yeah.
Especially so. I know Glenn's gonna. I think that's the first time Glenn has rolled with Michael, and that can be. Now the difference is too. It's like. Michael has a lot of stuff that I can help him with, and in some positions it can make it tougher. So
yeah,
but I know Glenn's good. He had him and Brad Blades had a good match. Glenn's just all around. He's just tough, man. I like that guy. He's scrappy. Glenn is the guy too. Like you say a name, he's like, yep. Like you already know. You know what I mean? He's that kind of
always down in game.
Always.
The fun thing about Mike is he's walking around at 150, but when you fight him, his upper body is that of a 180, 190 pounder.
Maybe 225.
Maybe 225. Like, he is strong for walking around at that 150.
100%. Upper body's unreal, man.
Unreal.
So, I'm just excited. That is going to be a stylistic matchup. And Glenn is a purple belt. Mike is a blue belt. Nogi, I think it matters a little bit less, man. Nogi. Moving on. The next match, we're actually going to talk about. This just came out today. Matt LaBelle has competed, in the building multiple times. He's a awesome dude out of. Charlotte Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and then Jose is going to be going against Jose trains with Whit Ramey, one of our guys. Whit has a club out in Spartanburg, and so this is Jose's first super fight with us. But it was cool though because both masters, you know what I mean. So that was cool. It's going to be a no-gi. Man, again, if you're watching this and you're like on the fence and you're an older athlete, 30 to 40 plus, man, sign up. We'll get you. You know what I mean. That's what's cool. Super fights aren't just like adult. World. It's like, man, we want to get matches. Seriously, the goal is to get matches for everyone. It's a free match. Use the experience. you know, make some money and go use that for your tournaments. So yeah, that's and that kind of concludes the jiu-jitsu portion. Now we're gonna go into combat jiu-jitsu real briefly. If you guys don't know what combat jiu-jitsu is, it's jiu-jitsu how with open hand strikes. We are still going to do points or live though.
Okay.
So, you know, whether that may change it, you know, it's going to be interesting if you, it could get, you know, if you're down by 2 and you're in a dominant position, do you try to go get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or do you try to finish it with stride? It's going to change it. I believe it will. I think it's going to be, the pace is going to be awesome. I do think there will be more of a, maybe a feeling out process because you're like, man, I don't want to get on bottom.
Yeah, that's kind of what you always see is they almost like forget that they can throw those strikes until that first one lands, and then it's like blood in the water.
Man.
What difference does the open palm striking play in the jiu-jitsu match?
Man, I think it makes a lot of difference. There's always a joke like in MMA, it's like, what's the easiest way to pass the guard? You punch them in the face, right? They open their guard. I think too, combat jiu-jitsu hasn't scratched the surface really in terms of like what people are capable of. Because like right now, especially like not a lot of people practice those open, you know, palm strikes, and that's the thing too. Like some people call it like a slap.
It's not a slap.
It's not a slap, guys. If you catch a palm, that's a punch, man.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they use it because a lot of people too, like, it's all over the place. Like it could be a former MMA person, it could just be a really good jiu-jitsu person. Like, you know what? I'm just going to try this.
Yeah.
And I think that's that with the cage is going to be interesting. But the first matchup, Trenton, how do you say his last name? Trenton. I'm sorry, I know you're Childers,
like the good old Tyler.
Yeah, Joshua Cole. Joshua Cole representing Hometown Martial Arts. Do you know where that's located? I'm not sure where. I apologize. I should know where Hometown Martial Arts is, but
I think it just depends.
Yeah, pumped to.
My hometown's Atlanta.
Exactly, right. So, and then Trenton's out of Top. You know, we already said they bring some good competitors. So excited about that. Looks like both white belts. Bigger guys. So that one's gonna be awesome. And then, do you know how to pronounce that name? He's going against Jake Johnson. I know he's very
Diallo.
Diallo.
And I'm not even gonna try and butcher
Diallo.
We're not gonna
mess it up. Diallo is really good. Very good, high level jiu-jitsu athlete. This one's gonna be awesome. Jake Johnson. He's crazy, man. He's one of our guys. He's just. You know, he's like, man, I want to get back in there. That's the other cool thing is like it might allow like we all give Jake some crap about being retired now for MMA, but he's not really, but he's just taking a layoff. But like this is cool because you get that cage experience, you get to hit somebody else, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But both purple belts, so that's gonna be no-gi at about 150 pounds, so 150, 160. That's gonna be great. This next one, so we're actually Kai Larson. Kai Larson can scrap. He's awesome. We're actually waiting to just to confirm his matches, but I believe actually I'll come back to that one and make sure because we had a couple of opponents pull out for Kai. Unfortunately, just injuries.
Beast.
Kai's good though,
yeah.
man. He's a man, he's scrappy. He gets after it. But I'll come back to that one. I'm gonna do some quick research, and then you actually know Liam, right? Liam Kirk.
Yeah.
So that's Vernon's
son.
You know, Liam versus Oliver Thomas. Oliver Thomas, independent. Liam, you know, representing Rubao, Team Rubao. You've seen Liam compete if you wanna.
Yeah, he's real flexible and just real comfortable in every position, so it makes it real hard to really establish anything on him. So I think that's the biggest obstacle when I see people roll with Liam. It's figuring out where they need to be in terms of like he can be on his head with his feet in his air and still be throwing up submission attempts. So yeah, it's crazy.
And we don't know, you know, Oliver Thomas, you know, is independent. The thing is though, he put no-gi combat wrestling, so he does, you know, obviously has a wrestling experience. That's gonna be a good match. That's our lightest probably matchup to adult. So that's sometimes those guys gas tank is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kai does have officially that combat match. So Kai Larson versus Muhammad. Man, I don't want to mess up your last name. You want to take a shot at that?
I'll take a shot. I'll send it out. No, I won't.
No. So Muhammad versus Kai Larson. Muhammad took he took this on very short notice, and we really do appreciate that. We couldn't find Kai. Kai's original opponent did back, got injured. Couldn't really find him one, and Muhammad stepped up. That school I know is, I forget how to pronounce it. Do you know how to pronounce that school?
No.
It's
we gotta go back.
Yeah,
to school.
I know. We gotta go back. It's like they are good though.
Yeah.
Like I know they are coached well. They're somewhere in North Carolina.
Okay.
I think at one point they may still be, or Czech Met affiliate, but they were coached really well. Really excited about that matchup. Clifton versus Witt. I think everyone. He goes to that same school. And I'm gonna tag that. I'm gonna comment on that school's name. But Witt Ramey obviously trains with us. Clifton went against, he was in the last show against, I know his name, from Carolina Combat, good wrestler. What is his name? That MMA fighter. Do you remember? Man, what is his name?
Nope.
I'm trying to remember. Anyway, I know his name, but I know Clifton can scrap. I know he can wrestle. I think that's going to be potentially fight of the night. Fight of the night, man. He went. He did so good. These guys both are really good.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to watch them. But yeah, it's Clifton Haas versus Witt Ramey.
I've got props to anyone that takes a combat jiu-jitsu match with Witt.
Witt is he's good at, obviously good at jiu-jitsu, but I think the combat jiu-jitsu, really, it fits to his skill set. But again, Clifton, I'm gonna pull up who he just went against, because it was a great match. Man, Josh Motzinger. Yeah, I know you, Josh. Sorry, I just I blanked for a second. But yeah, Josh went against Clifton, and it was good. They're both high level wrestlers. So with Witt going against Clifton, I think it can be a matter of who's gonna get a good position first. Yeah. So and then the last combat jiu-jitsu match would be Rudy Sill out of Fight to Win Shelby, and then John is that Geese?
Yeah,
John Geese out of Boondocks MMA. So excited about that one. Both one is a blue belt, one is a white belt. Again, I don't think no-gi combat jiu-jitsu, that belt you can just I don't think it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter as much.
You're getting hit
when
anytime.
You get punched in the face.
Yeah, it's but we're excited. All those combat jiu-jitsu matches, guys. Again, that's 5 combat jiu-jitsu matches. It's going to be an awesome show, as for spectators. So we'll move on. We just have 4 combat sambo matches, guys. If you have never seen combat sambo, please, at a minimum, watch it on our live stream. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Headbutts, elbows, knees. And then, if you can wrestle, if you have good takedowns, judo, takedowns score points, pinning scores points. Usually what I've seen, they happen pretty quick, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way the rule set's lined up. Like, you've got the strikes, but you've got to remember in these combat sambo matches, there's still the points. So there's still that 8-point tech fall.
Right. So
sweep to the back, you follow them down, you hold them there for 20 seconds.
It's over.
Doesn't matter how good your striking is. So you still got to be as well-rounded and treated as an MMA fight. And that's and actually the first 2 matches, man, that we're going to talk about, both of Mike Bullock, he trains with us, Benjamin, both of these guys are gearing up to be MMA fighters. So I couldn't say enough about both of these guys. They wanted an outlet, like if you're trying to go to the cage, this is a good, they're wearing the MMA gloves, they're wearing shins. They're going to get that walk to the cage and get to punch somebody without actually doing, a first MMA fight. So I think it's just going to be awesome for them to get the experience. I know Benjamin has a wrestling background. Mike's, bottom jiu-jitsu game is pretty good. So that's always an interesting, dynamic, man. Someone shoots in, can someone get the choke, can someone stay on top? So I'm excited about that. And then Mason Allen, Mason started training with us. Probably he's been actually doing jiu-jitsu maybe only
2 months, but his striking, you know, he's a kickboxer,
Okay.
so that's going to be interesting. And then it's Killian is going against Mason. He's out of Team Grizzly. We know Ben. Ben has all his guys coached up pretty well, and I think that's going to be a good. I'm excited about for the experience for all these guys these first 2 matches, because they're seriously. I think that's invaluable. You're going to get to walk to the cage, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
This one so this is going to be co-main event. We know both of these guys. It's going to be awesome. So it is going to be Quinlan. How do you say Quinlan's last name? Is it It's like McClung?
Yeah.
Quinlan McClung against Anthony Roberts. Anthony Roberts trains out of Carolina Combat Sports. He's 1-1 in MMA, amateur MMA. He's a former veteran. He's he's tough. Like I've trained with Anthony. You know he's gonna bring it. And then we know Quinlan. Quinlan right now he used to train with us. He moved to Myrtle. He trains at Myrtle Beach Judo and BJJ. Quinlan's crazy, man. He's like, he'll scrap with anybody. I think that guy, if you said, hey, do you want to fight, and he didn't hear you, the answer is yes. Like, he doesn't care.
He kind of lives for when he fights, either in the ring or in the cage.
I mean, it's crazy. Like literally lives for it.
And he hits hard.
He does. and you know that's just, this matchup. Both of these guys have good experience. Anthony's a fighter. You know, Quinlan, he's a fighter. This is gonna be awesome for a co-main event. I think there's gonna be sparks in this one. And then excited now the main event, the Combat Sambo. We have Ricky. Man, you gonna say Ricky's last name? I know Ricky, but I'm just making Ryan say all these last names.
Ricky, so either Lucadoo or Luckadoo.
Yeah, I think it's Luckadoo. There we go. But Ricky actually is the owner of Carolina Combat League. Okay. Yeah, so like he has a good outlet for. Nice. I've competed on that card. It's awesome. Out of Asylum Combat Club. Ricky has done everything. Ricky's fought MMA. He's fought boxing. He's fought kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. He is a veteran when it comes to combat sports. And then we have Quentin Cornelius out of Checkmat Charleston. You know, Quentin he's taken 2 MMA fights. I know he has a wrestling background, and also he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, maybe blue belt, but
well-rounded.
Super well-rounded. And what I think is gonna be interesting with this is like Combat Sambo. You don't have time to adjust. You got 1 5-minute round. That's it. These guys got 1 5-minute round. You can headbutt, elbow, all that stuff. I think that's going to make a difference, really, because you can't make a mistake. Yeah. You get taken down and you get pinned, you could be over. Yeah. You know. But yeah, Ricky and Quentin is going to be the main event. Both of those guys are awesome. But yeah, the whole card, guys, is great. It's going to be live on our YouTube, completely free. If you can't make it in person, really, I recommend checking that out. And just, man, shout out to all these athletes. I know it's 4th of July weekend, so like I know a lot of people were busy. These athletes wanted the smoke. And yeah. Do you have any? What do you think? What is potential fight of the night for any of them, combat or? If you had to pick maybe 1 or 2, what do you think?
If I had to pick one. If I had to pick 2 just off of what I know, I'm going with Q and Anthony with the Combat Sambo, and then Clifton and Witt with the Combat BJJ. But obviously I'm excited for my wrestling matches.
It's gonna be awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you if you know anything about these athletes, man, comment. That I think that helps out, the athletes. And then just comment predictions too. I love that. I want to see maybe some trash talking now.
Light it up. Tag everybody.
So and then if there's matches in the future that you guys want to see, man, let us know. And thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate it.